What's going on, everybody, and welcome to today's video, where today we will be opening up a box that was shipped to me from Video Games Monthly. I decided to give them a shot and see what games I would get out of the box, and I'm going to try doing it for just 3 months just to see kind of what I could be expecting. And from what I have been told from multiple sources, I don't want to say necessarily it is a scam per se, but it seemed like the consensus is that more often than not, you're not gonna even possibly break even, like, you know, what you would get if you were to buy these games individually online. So is the value really there? Now, again, this is just my first box, so we'll see what happens. I'll put a little tracker down here as we go along to see how much monetary value comes in this box. And mind you, I bought the 10 game pack and I got a thing that said, you got 1 game free. So we'll see, even with that extra game, if I even came close to the $100 price tag that this box cost, and that was including with shipping. All right, so I'm gonna open this backwards so that way I'm not seeing the games coming out. So I got some Genesis stuff. So here is a Genesis cart, and we have the failed puzzle game that was Zoop, and the label is a little beat up, but yeah, this one, I can't think of the price off the top of my head, but I definitely know that is a basically very cheap game, like somewhere between the $5 and $8 range, something like that. It's not really a horrible game in my opinion, even though it did fail, and a lot of people, I don't know, I guess they don't like it. I personally didn't have a problem with it, and I can even remember the commercial growing up as a kid. Like, they were trying to hype it up like it was the new puzzle game, and they were like talking to people on the streets and stuff like that, and then it crashed and burned. All right, so the next one, here we go. We got Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Label's not too terribly bad. Now, granted, I do have a copy of Sonic the Hedgehog 2 CIB, so I mean, this is just extra, but it is what it is. Again, great game. I got nothing bad to say about the game. Just, you know, now I got a duplicate copy. All right, so next up, I'm just trying to feel the cart. It feels like an N64 cart, and it is Mission Impossible, which it's not a terrible game either. Not exactly probably the most sought after game. And then here's the back of the label. There we go. But, you know, again, not one that is really high up there on the monetary aspects when you're trying to look at the value you're going to get from the box. All right, so let's see. What do we got next? This feels like a Genesis cart. And Tecmo Super Bowl, which this was one thing that I was worried about when getting these boxes, was getting a bunch of sports games that I don't want, because the one thing that's annoying is on these lists, they only allow you to pick 200 games that you have, right? And the problem is there's so many sports games, you can't even check all of them to take them off the list. So you're going to end up with a bunch of crap that you necessarily don't even want. And from what I can see on the site, I don't even know if it actually updates as to when they ship you games, if they check them off the list, or if all you get is a 200 game max, and then you could potentially keep getting duplicate games, even though the selling point is that you're not going to get a duplicate game. I don't know. I'll have to investigate it a little bit more and then see what I can come up with. All right, so the next game feels like a Genesis cart is Battleship. Wah, 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 wah. Oh my God, like that, they might as well call that Battleship. I can't. That hurts. I'm sorry. That one hurts. Okay, next game. Must be a disc of some kind, because feels like a plastic case that's thin. Oh, and it's Pong, a game that I will never play on the PlayStation. So there's that. Next game feels like another disc. Okay, so we got Namco Museum Volume 1, which I already have, so I got that CIB. So that's another one that I got a duplicate of. Great game, but one that I did not need. We got NFL Blitz 2000, which, from what I can see, I mean, at least the disc quality, from what I can see through the case, without cracking it, let me open it real quick. It looked like the discs were in decent shape. yeah, like, I mean, this looks like it's in pretty solid shape. Like, there's minimal scratching on it. I don't know if you guys can actually get a good look here. But, yeah. So I took the piece of paper out that I seen what it is, and it looks like it's some stickers. So now I got some stickers that I'm not going to do anything with, but, you know, hey, I'm sure it'd be nice to, you know, if you got some kiddos. All right, so next one is Subterrania on the Genesis. It's not really a bad game. I liked it. It's kind of like Asteroids, but kind of like on steroids. It's challenging for sure, and one that I honestly would suggest at least giving it a shot. The controls are a little wonky, but the more you play it, with like anything, you'll kind of get used to it. But it's not a terrible game. I know there's a lot of people I have heard at least that say they don't like the game or they think it's a trash game. But to me, even though I know it's a cheaper game on the monetary side, it's actually not a terrible game to play. All right, so this one feels like another disc. So we got A Bug's Life. So the only thing I'll say that's nice about having certain games like that, even though I emulate stuff, I mean, if I wanted to have my son play on some OG hardware when he gets older, I can have some children's games that he can play, so that doesn't really bother me too bad. So this feels like a CIB. Last but not least, we have Casper Friends Around the World. And it's, like I said, it is CIB, which I know the game itself, again, I can't give the exact number off the top of my head, but I do know that it's not like super expensive to get CIB. And this one, a little disappointed in the disc, I'm not gonna lie. I'll try to see if I can show you guys. Like you can kind of see like there's some scratching on that for sure. And it's like, so kind of, in my opinion, that kind of takes away from the CIB value when you know that the disc is kind of beat up. I'll have to test that out just to make sure it plays. I'm sure it does, but because I've seen way worse discs play. But yeah, I mean, am I gonna say I'm 100% disappointed? Nah, I can't say I'm disappointed. It's kind of, I got what I kind of expected. Do I think I hit the $100 threshold off the top of my head? I'm gonna say I'm close. I don't know if I went over, but I think at the very least, if I'm probably under it, but I don't know by how much. Again, the Battleship game, that was the one that burnt me the most, though. If I'm like looking back, I'd say Battleship and then the Tecmo Super Bowl, kind of like, I don't really care for having a bunch of sports games that I'm not gonna play. I guess, like I said, I'm gonna try doing it for a couple more months, see what I get. Am I expecting to ever get like a $60 game out of a 10 game box? Probably not. But again, I just wanted to see kind of what they were going to be trying to give out with these boxes. So with that being said, let me know what you guys thought about this in the comments below, and then I will be seeing you guys in the next video.